Okay, so my name's Boyd, and welcome to Habits of Character. Um, I want to start the journey right, so let's kind of make it clear. I'm a really incomplete character. I think all of us are. This is what we call growth. I I have a lot of growth to do. I think we all do, but I want to talk about what that looks like, and the fact that it's not always easy, and it doesn't always come from the place that you want, or rather the outcomes that you are hoping for. Sometimes growing is recognizing where we're failing or have failed. And rather than trying to start over, we have to start fresh. So we have to do things we don't like. We have to be uncomfortable. And that can really hurt, and that can have a huge cost sometimes. But if we can be uncomfortable and we can be afraid and still try things, then we can actually learn and we can grow. And it's not to say that we are not going to fail doing the exact same things, repeating the exact same habits and patterns, and being triggered by the exact same problems again, running back into those fears. But we have to work on them. We have to make the effort to become something new, because life is short. And the outcomes are really disappointing if we don't try. You will fail 100% of the shots you don't take, and you will fail yourself and those around you so much more if you don't really try. And that's a hard one to live with. Looking yourself in the eyes, looking at the people you love in the eyes, and knowing that you quit on you first, that you let the team down. So we're going to work through some concepts and ideas on this channel, and know that I'm working on them. I'm a concept too. But what I want to do, with a degree of, hopefully, I apologize, but brutal honesty, is that we're going to try to build something. We're going to build it from good things and bad things. We're going to look at habits and skills and areas of focus, because you won't be able to control much in this world. Things will come and go, people will come and go, things will move around, opportunities will happen and fail. But you can control the type of person you wish to become. You can choose to be a good project or an unfinished piece of work. And one of the biggest indicators for the satisfaction you're going to have with your life is the time you commit to that inner work. And it's not going to be easy. And there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable nights, a lot of sleepless moments as you work on these things and the evidence comes back. But you can work on those core values. The clearer you understand your core values, the more clearly you will understand what does and doesn't impact you, what does and does not fit you and belong to you and belong with you. You will also understand better when you aren't living in integrity with those values, and where you may firmly believe that you are acting in a way or believing and practicing a way that you represent this image of integrity, but that your actions and their consequences are not in integrity. They don't agree. They don't reflect the story you're telling yourself. So the better you understand that, the better you can truly engage honestly with the world, because with self-knowledge you can have true honesty, and you can offer vulnerability and invite these vulnerabilities and honesties and truths into your life, and you can grow. So I'm not talking about easy processes. I'm not talking about easy ideas, but I'm talking about working through understanding self, and not just the image and the story you tell yourself, but the options that come through in life. Because the older you get, the more evidence you collect of who you are. And the only constant in that story is you. So when certain things keep happening, it's not just a story. It's a pattern of your choice. Conscious or otherwise, you are making these things happen. You are participating in them. So we've got to look at what kind of story we want to have, what kind of experience we want to have. And if we don't like the story, we don't like the experience that we're living, what are we doing to change it? What are we doing to better understand ourselves in that process? And how do we build habits and patterns of behavior, disciplines, and awareness to move from what isn't suiting us and what's causing harm and limitation in our life to what's going to move us into the person we want to be? Because I know about you, I'm getting older and I've got more eyes watching me. And I don't mean the wider world, I mean the eyes that matter. And I don't want to be a disappointment to them. So I have to look at the whole story. And I have to look at what I believe and whether I live in alignment to it. And I need to build value in those practices. And I got to go and do the shadow work, the hard stuff, which is you look at the things that are ugly, that are uncomfortable, the disappointing parts, the bad parts about who you are and who we are, and how that impacts on the world and the people around us that matter. And taking that full accountability, because that's a wonderful thing about accountability, right? It gives you agency. The more you own about who you are and what you do and the impact it has, the more chance you have to change that. And you want to be able to change that for the better. You want to grow these things in your life. So I'm hoping that we can plot a path together where we can identify areas that we can grow, that we can clarify our values and whether we live in alignment with them, whether we have the integrity, that we practice what we preach, or whether we need to bring in some habits and discipline there, and some self-awareness and reflection on what we truly are missing to work forward. And I'm going to move through a lot of different focuses, I guess, over the time that we do this. But I do want to keep it honest and keep it accountable, so I will also be doing the work that I'm talking about. I want to be more resilient, more sound in my value. And so I'm going to be taking the steps necessary, not to deflect, not to excuse what I do wrong, but to build what I should be doing right. To look at where I need to be in better value and offering more, because I'm getting too old to do less. I'm getting too old to be afraid and hiding in that fear, like, trusting it to protect me, because you learn after a while that everything that you fear, you will create. The things that you run from, the things that you try to self-protect on, you'll still manifest in your life. It will self-create until you want to change that story and not let the fear drive. Observe it. Acknowledge it. but start to do something more regardless. So this channel, this idea is going to be not me preaching or lecturing. It's going to be me putting in the work and inviting conversation as to how we grow to be self-aware, competent, capable people of value, with true self-value, that can have the impact we want and know what is for us and what is not for us. Because sometimes we're going to be quick to say what's not for me you just didn't work hard enough to earn it. And some of the things that you want, that's not for you. As much as you like to believe it, as much as you might want it, that may be the very thing taking you away from being in integrity with your values, your character, and out of alignment with your life. So I'm going to share and do hard stuff in a personal space with you. And I hope that we can do this in a trusting dialogue, and I can take your feedback and your lessons, because the places I've found myself wanting and lacking and the cost it's had, I don't want to continue to revisit, nor do I want to bring other people through. So this idea of habits of character is as much going to be a shared journey of how can I build the character that I want to respect? How can I be those traits and those things that I want in this world, that I look for in others? So this is the project, if you'll share it with me.